Hey guys, so I'm here taking a look at a game from LazarusWall, a Blue Terran player in this game at the 6 o'clock. His opponent is also Terran, and his name Bengee. He's the Red Terran at the 8. So LazarusWall is a Terran player in the Silver League, and he requested that I just take a look at these games. Well, this one game. And just on that note, this is a really long game. This is almost 50 minutes long in game time, but so it's going to be a little bit shorter because I went faster. But I would really appreciate it if people send me these super long games. Anything over like half an hour is pretty questionable, because it makes me spend just a ton more time than I would on just the editing of these. And also, it's difficult for players to remember 40 minutes of advice or whatever. So LazarusWall going to start off his wall here. Not the best positioning. This is going to make the supply placement pretty awkward. And if he ever wants to put a add-on onto this barracks, he's going to have to lift off and make his wall even more awkward. So just the placing of this barracks not that good. In general, you're going to want to just just go to a map, make a custom game, go up to a map, play against like a very easy AI or something, and just try out building placements, try out your wall placements, see what you can do. And if you have the what's it called, yet another build tester or build order tester, then that's probably a better idea, although they don't have one of those for every single map. But that is a very useful resource. Not a Metalopolis, which is this map, but there's one for let's see, Steps, and I think Desert Oasis has one, and Blistering Sands has one, I'm pretty sure. And there's one more I think I'm forgetting. Lost Temple, maybe? I don't remember. I don't really use it too much, but they are very useful tools. He's going to set up the scout as well, and immediately notice that he's not making any more SCVs, and he's also not getting an orbital command. So this is something that you want to time down as best possible. You want to get that orbital command started around 15. There we go. Still a bit late, and that's not really a huge deal. And again, this awkward supply depot placement, getting a little tongue-tied over here. And so Terran versus Terran on this map, he is going to note that his opponent is close air spawned, so that's good, at least knowing that. But this means that his ground army isn't going to be as significant as the air if he chooses to go. I mean, I say this a lot in my commentaries as well. This close air spawn means that air is just a lot more powerful, at least in terms of harassment. And possibly, in Terran versus Terran, I guess Marauder drops are a bit more powerful as well. So that's just something to think about. Going heavy Viking and maybe dropping some Marauders as well would make this a lot more difficult to defend. And then you can contain your opponent with tanks outside this natural, something like that. And again, this building placement just not the greatest. So building your barracks so close to this one horizontally means, yeah, you're going to be forced to lift off. And in general, you don't want to be doing that, just because it wastes a little bit more time. And this wall, it's still not going to be complete with this supply depot. So just creating the wall should be one of the very basic things, one of the very first things you start to do when you're learning how to play Terran, and because it is one of the best defensive tools that they have. And so that's just something for LazarusWall to work on. Looks like he's getting that custom shell, getting his Marauders. Backer could be a little bit better using both of these barracks instead of just a single one. His opponent's going to move in here, but it doesn't matter. Going to get wiped up pretty quickly, although I think LazarusWall is going to lose most of his forces. But again, he holds it off, so it's not a huge thing. So let's see, what else? Nothing too much. I'm actually going to speed this up a little bit. He's getting this factory down kind of late. I generally prefer going barracks right into factory instead of two racks. Or if you are going to dedicate to this infantry build, then you want to be going 3 racks probably before factory. Also, when he does have control of this ramp, he should be lowering one of these depots, so this barracks has an easier time getting to the front. Alright, getting stem now. Not doing much with this factory yet. Let's see, those gases fully saturated. This SCV count is really small, so only 10 SCVs, and he's not making any more right now. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes that LazarusWall makes on this entire game. I have seen this replay 2 or 3 times by now, but this just bad concentration. He's only got less than double the SCVs on minerals than he has on gas, and this means that his income is just going to be really, really slow. Yeah, 17 to 23. So you do want to be getting the key number again is going to push up here. So just one thing to note: if you're going to lose, if you're not going to do very much damage at all when you're pushing up, just retreat. I mean, it saves your units, and you're probably going to inflict very little damage anyway. You should just acknowledge when you're not going to be able to inflict a lot of damage, and then in those situations you should be able to retreat. Anyway, this SCV count is just really, really tiny. It's going to make his income fall way, way behind his opponent. Alright, getting up that stop warning. Getting a tech lab on this factory, pretty normal. Let's see. Another supply depot up. He's going pretty overboard in the supply depots. He's at 31 out of 51. When you have 20 supply left over, unless you're a Zerg and you're planning to spawn, say, like 10 mutas, then you probably shouldn't be building more supply depots / pylons / overlords, because that's just wasted money pretty much, because you're not going to get any return investment on this for quite a while, really. eBay not going up. Okay. It's not a terrible idea. Later on, he's actually going to add on a second eBay, which is a terrible idea, but the single eBay, not a good idea. Well, it's okay. It's not terrible. It's fine. It's because he's going to do some nice turret placements over here on this ridge. That's pretty solid. First tank out, and you should be just macroing up tons and tons of tanks. Reactor out on this medevac, and okay, the single Viking out now. You want to keep this money as low as possible. He's getting weapons 1 over here for this M&M ball. So yeah, that's what he's using the eBay primarily for. Not getting any turrets up yet. Yeah, he's going to put down another eBay over here. So this is, you don't want to be doing this, not for the eBay, unless you are like completely 100% dedicated to M&M, and I guess that third M with the medevacs and even Vikings. But still, if you're going to go for this mech addition to it, you probably shouldn't be going double eBay. Double eBay is just in general not that great an idea, especially because the armor upgrades aren't really that beneficial to Marines and Marauders. Are a little bit more beneficial to the Ghosts, I think. I don't remember. It changes something into 3 shots instead of 2 shots or something like that. But not so much for these Marines. I guess, yeah, it does kind of apply to the Marauders, though. The the attack upgrades are fine. He's going to do some harassment over here with a single Viking, and he runs away way too quickly. Doesn't even get 1 kill, I don't think. So what you're looking for in harassment is to get at least as many resources as you invested with it. Running away way too quickly, and he was in a really nice position between these 2 refineries. He probably could have gotten 2 or 3, probably even more kills before those SCVs really got aware of it, before they circled around the refineries and got a good, better position on the Vikings, or Viking. Looks like he's ready to move out now. He doesn't have that great of an army. It's okay. Is this positioning to expand? And we're going to see him build a planetary fortress over here. So that's a pretty big waste of money, considering. Well, just remember that he hasn't been building tanks all this time. He probably could have gotten another 2 tanks out by now, at least. He's going to go for a pretty bad medevac drop, really. Just look at this. This is where you don't want to drop. You don't want to drop when your medevac is under attack by a turret, which is, by the way, an incredibly powerful unit against air, more so than any other stacked defense. And he's gonna get wiped up here, and consider the damage he's done. He took out a turret. He almost got an armory. Maybe, what, 3 shots left? 4 shots left? So he's gonna be forced to retreat. So when you're doing drops like that, you generally don't want to go for this. You want to go as far into the mineral line as you can, take out as many SCVs as you can, and then run away. Or alternatively, you might, well, it's different depending on the drop. Say, a immortal drop, you'd want to take down the supply depots as as fast as possible. A third drop, if you had the strike cannon, again, these supply depots would be a nice target. Sometimes you want to be going for these production facilities. Take out that factory, make sure that your opponent is super behind. And now getting this planetary fortress, and this actually works out for him, but a lot of that is because he just hasn't kept up production on those tanks. He's getting them now, but he is short around 2 tanks, and his tank position not the best. Again, it comes back to this building position. So his wall is so awkward right now that his tanks can't really be around here because that'll block the path. He should be lowering these guys though. And this tank placement, I don't really like it. He should be closer to around here, and then with these just lowered, so that way he'd have a little bit better coverage on the natural. His opponent is going to move all the way around, I think come around from this area, which is actually a pretty smart move. But a lot of this does come back to, he definitely could have gotten away with an orbital command if he had a more substantial army. Okay, moving in here now, he's going to lose pretty badly. Got a few kills, but whatever. And again, this tank position, if it had been a little bit more forward, like around here, then you would have had great Shelly position, probably be able to take down a lot of these guys. Very few of them would have been able to actually hit the orbital command, or the planetary fortress, or whatever it was, without being shot at. And he's going to repair this, so that's fine. So he's got this massive Vikings. These guys are going to be idle for forever. I think it's like 6 or 7 minutes until he actually uses these guys. So that's just another thing to recognize. You should have your units just be doing things as much as they can. Just not, instead of just sitting idle here. Of course, the exception being the siege tanks, but they shouldn't be sitting idle. They should be checking out what your opponent has, checking out the other spawn positions, seeing if your opponent has expanded, taking these towers. And what else? You can kill the statues if you want. Alright, so he's actually going to get a lot more SCVs as his natural than he still has his main. His main is still very, very skimpy.